For the Most High created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Now let's do something. Let's go to Genesis. Let's go to Genesis, because we're going to find out, what does the word Genesis mean? The word Genesis mean the beginning. The word Genesis mean the origin and source. Let's see what image man was made in. Let's get that. Let's go to Genesis chapter Genesis chapter 2. I'm going to start at Genesis chapter 2 first. Let's read it. Genesis chapter 2. We're going to find out the image that man was made in. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. And the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, formed man of the dust of the ground. What color is the dust? What color is the soil? The soil is different shades of brown. No matter what part of the world you in, the soil is different shades of brown. So what does that mean? Every man is supposed to be a shade of what? Brown. Right? And the Lord formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into him, into his nostrils, the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Let's continue. Let's build on that. Let's build on that. Let's go to Genesis 1 and 26. Genesis 1, chapter 1 and 26. And the Most High said, let us make man in our own image. So you so-called Negroes are made in what? When these so-called white people see you so-called Negro men, who they looking at? They looking at the Messiah. Call Yahweh Yahushai, man. And our Native American brothers, you other Israelites, man. But guess what? We know what? That who the world enemy calls God and Jesus Christ come out of what tribe? The tribe of Judah. Watch this. Let's get it. Let's get it. Who is the tribe of Judah today? Let's get it. Let's put it in your face. We're going to put the truth in their face. The tribe of Judah right here, man. And what does that say? The so-called Negroes of America. So who the world? So who the world enemy calls God and Jesus Christ will be considered what today? I'm just going to be blunt and frank. We're going to put it in today's term. He will be considered a nigger. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Let's continue. Let's read that again. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. And the Most High said, let us make man in our own image, after our own likeness. So when you see these, when the so-called white man tells you, calls these spiritual beings who are your brothers, who are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans brothers in these so-called UFOs, those entities in those ships who navigate them ships is your brothers. They are Negroes as well, because we read that he made man in his own likeness. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And the Most High said, let us make man in our own image, after our own likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth. So the earth was made for who? Who was the earth made for? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. That's your inheritance, man. And what else comes with the earth? All the other nations. Let's get that too. Let's put it back in your face. All the other nations outside of Israel, outside of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all these other nations, Edom is the top heathen nation. The Indian or the East Indian, Elam. The Assyrian, Asher. Syria on down. These other 17 nations was made for you too. Because what they gonna do? They gonna serve you in the kingdom of heaven. They gonna be your slaves. Our people can't deal with that. You want a food truck. You want a lash bar. Well, guess what? Babylon the Great, aka America, finna be destroyed by what? Thermonuclear missiles. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. Who created you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the elite of his creations, man. You are the top people of the earth, man. And these damn devils know that, man. Let's continue. Let's continue. Because we out here to do what, man? Bring out this truth. We out here to bring out this truth. And we dealing with what? Right now we dealing with what? That You got to cast off. We started off what? Cast off the mortal thoughts, man, because you was made to be what? Immortal. Ooh, this word is dangerous, man. It's dangerous, boy. Let me read this shit again. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And the Most High said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea. So that means what? Everybody on the face of the earth right now, who did they come out of? They came out of you so-called blacks. Huh? Huh? Esau, even the so-called white man, the devil that the speaker, he ain't gonna tell you that, is he? See that? Let's continue. And the Most High said, let us make man in our own image and after our own likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish and of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over the creepy things that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 27, so the Most High created man in his own image. In the image of the Most High created he him, male and female. He created him. That's why the so-called black women got the best bodies in the world. That's why the so-called Latino woman is the most beautiful women in the world. That's why the so-called Native American women are the most beautiful people in the world. That's why these people doing what? What these girls going to do now? They're going to go get an ass like the so-called the Israelites. They're going to get their body done like the Israelites. Huh? Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Let's continue. So the Most High created man in his own image. Genesis 1:27. So the Most High created man in his own image. In the image of the Most High, he created him, male and female, and created he them. Watch this. And the Most High blessed them. And the Most High said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. What is that going into? So why the hell was you getting your babies aborted? Esau Edom set that up because he read this right here. Genesis 1:28. And the Most High blessed them. And the Most High said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. Who doing that right now? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The tribe of Issachar, which is the so-called Mexicans, running circles around everybody. they having 20 motherfucking kids. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Watch this. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And that goes into what? The 1/3 elect gonna be saved on this side. We're gonna be being fruitful and multiplying. Lord willing, I'm one of those men. We're gonna be fruitful and multiplying the kingdom and bring back the 2/3 that's gonna be destroyed on this side. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This word is beautiful, man. And multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. So guess what? That also goes into what? I think it's the book of Isaiah. It says a little one shall become 1,000. It also tells you that your children gonna be playing with the dangerous animals of the earth, with the poisonous vipers, with the lions. Because what? We read it right here. Adam had what? Dominion over all the animals. So back in them times, when the animals seen Adam, what was they doing? When they seen man, that brown man, what was they doing? They was fleeing. Wasn't no animal attacks, until guess what? We started going off. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So let's continue. Let's go back. I went down a whole nother road, but guess what? It's through the Spirit. It's through the Spirit because what? Let's get that real quick. Jeremiah. Nah, this better. Salakia. Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 1. This why I don't mean nothing, because guess what? I'm coming through the Spirit, and we're gonna see what it means to go through the Spirit. Proverbs 16 and 1. The preparations of the heart, meaning the mind, heart goes into the mind. The preparation of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. So everything came out my mouth through the Spirit is from who? Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. So I'm doing his will. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Now, matter of fact, let's back that up even further. Let me back it up even further. Because we got through precepts we get to understand. Watch this. 2 Samuel. Watch this. This tough right here. 2 Samuel chapter 23. And I'm going to start at verse 1. Now these be the last words of David. David, the son of Jesse, Dawadah, in the Paleo Hebrew, said, and the man who raised up on high, the anointed of the Most High of Jacob, and the sweet psalmist of Israel said, watch this, the Spirit of the Lord spake by me, and his word was in my tongue. What else? What else? What else? What else? End of lesson. Is it the end of the lesson? I'm not speaking on my own accord. I'm rolling through the Spirit, and it said, the Spirit of the Lord spake by me. And his word was in my tongue. Let's back that up one more time. Let's back that up one more time. Let's go to Jeremiah. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 1. Jeremiah chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. So what I'm doing right now, guess what? I was already sanctified to do. Along with the other men who you seeing out here on the highways and hedges with the true testimony of Yahweh Shai, the 100% doctrine of GMS, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, the brothers, and the likewise like-minded brothers scattered throughout the earth, teaching the same doctrine. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So I'm telling these nations what's going to happen before, because prophecy means what? Prophet means to speak before. I'm telling the 1/3 of our people who are going to listen, who have that circumcised ear, the eyesight to see, and I'm talking to the 2/3 who walking past here, who act like I'm crazy or don't, hey, what's wrong with it? Guess what? And I'm talking about these nations who looking at us crazy. Right? Verse 6. Then said I, Lord Yahweh, behold, I cannot speak, for I'm a child. Watch this. But the Lord said unto me, say not, I am a child, let me get that right. Say not that I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. This word deadly, man. This word deadly. Matter of fact, Lord willing, I'm gonna find that. I do know where it's at. I'm gonna get that right after this. Watch this. That's the Spirit right there. Watch this. Verse 8. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord. So I ain't afraid of none of these Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, so-called white people, Arabs, Africans. I ain't afraid of none of you motherfuckers. I'm putting it in your face. Verse 9. Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. Watch this. Verse 10, see, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out, to pull down, and to destroy, and to throw down, and to build and to plant. What we build and we plant, the kingdom of heaven. What we tear, what are we throwing down and destroying? Esau, Edom, the temporal, the things that our people who are not hastening to flee from these times. See how all this comes back. Ooh. I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know. We started off by what? Cast away the mortal thoughts, put off the weak nature. Because what? Let me read that again. Jeremiah 1 and 10. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy. We rooting out, pulling down, and destroying Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's world with this what? This word that was put in our mouths. And to throw down and to build and to plant. What we throwing down, Esau, Edom, what we building and we plant, the kingdom of heaven. Because what? Ecclesiasticus. This is what our people don't understand. Ecclesiasticus. I know I left a second address, but hey, I'm through the Spirit now. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 8. Let me start at verse 7. Pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. Verse 8 is what I'm talking about, though. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people into another. Who is this being trans? Who got their gain and riches by the sea? None other than Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. He killed, raped, robbed, murdered. Huh? Right? Right? Huh? Who is it getting translated? To his rightful rulers. We just read it in Jeremiah 1 and 10. Huh? And I said I was going to get something. Let me get this. Because anybody who ain't with it, guess what? Let's read this for you. Let's read this for you right here. Is it 2 Thessalonians? 2 Thessalonians? I'm gonna start at 11. But the point is in verse 12. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusions. So whoever don't believe in this is because what? Yahweh Shai sent you a strong delusion. That they should believe a lie. Who is the father of the lie? We went through that in my the earlier lesson. Esau, Edom. You can read about that in Romans the 20th chapter, 1 through the third verse, and the 7th verse. You can read about in Psalms 58 and 3. You can read about it in John 8 and 44. Huh? Right? Watch this. Read 2 Thessalonians 2:11 again. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Verse 12. I can't wait for this shit to stop, man. All this loud, the kingdom going, man, I can't wait for all this folly. Watch this though, 2 Ezra chapter 2 and verse 12, because our people got to know this. That they all might, let me say this again. Look at Eve, man, destroyed. Look at Eve, blind hair, destroyed, man. Out here screaming drunk, Eve destroyed. Look, out here destroyed, man. Matter of fact, let's read something before I get that about Eve. Watch this. 1 Timothy. See, our women don't know this. 1 Timothy 5 and verse 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Let me read that again. 1 Timothy verse 5 and 1 Timothy 5 and 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. So guess what? Lest they don't repent, they dead. Them hoes is dead. Let's continue. Let's go back to 2 Thessalonians, because this is what I want to get. Chapter 2 and verse 11. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 11. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 12. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth. So if you don't believe this truth as a so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, you damned. You damned, man. But have pleasure in unrighteousness. See that? Because that's what our people are chasing. That's what you rather go after. That's what you rather go after, unrighteousness. You rather go after the ways of this world that are temporal, that bring forth death. And guess what? You can still hear Eve. She all the way down to the next light. Still yelling and screaming, man. Out of their damn mind. Out of their damn minds, man. Verse 13, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 13. But we are bound to give thanks always to the Most High for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because the Most High hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification. Didn't we just read in Jeremiah, the 1st chapter? I'm going to go back to it so we can bring it back. And have from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and the belief of the truth. Man. Let me go back to Jeremiah, boy. Let me go back to Jeremiah, boy. I don't know what to tell these people, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. You got to go. If you're not down with the Dark Lord, if you're not down with the so-called Black Messiah, you have to be destroyed. Period, point blank. Let's read that again, because we just read 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 13. I'm going to read it one more time so we can bring it back to what we just read. And prayerfully, the lesson is edified. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Prayerfully, the lesson is truly edified, man. Because this ain't me. This Yahweh Shem Yahushua working through me, man. I can't glorify nothing, man. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Salaki. Salaki. There we go. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 13. But we are bound to give thanks always to the Most High for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, because the Most High have from the beginning chosen you, those who are subscribing to believing on the report, who are sighing and crying, who are diligently seeking the face of the Lord, who are working out their own salvation with fear and trembling. Huh? Because the Most High have from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth. Now watch this, because we read it in Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5. Watch this. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations, man. So guess what? If I don't know what scripture it is, but it says something. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can get it before I say it. Watch this. Bear with me. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Watch this. Because we're gonna tie in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 13 with Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5 by doing this. Watch this. Because Matthew 10 and 40. Let me start at this. Watch this. Let me start at Matthew chapter 10, and I'm gonna start at verse 38. This is red letter writing. Who is speaking? Who the world would call Jesus Christ, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Adonai Yahushai. Lord Yahushai. Lord Yahushai. Matthew 10 and 38. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. So if you ain't taking your afflictions, if you ain't doing this work, then guess what? You ain't worthy of that kingdom we were reading about. Verse 39, he that findeth his life shall lose it. So if you out here doing what these people doing, out here full of folly, out here leaning unto their own understanding, out here rebellious, totally oblivious to their creator and who he is and who he made them, he that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. So with a small testimony, guess what? I came out the ways of the world. I was doing everything that's going on behind me. I was doing it all, man. But guess what? When I did what? And I'm going to come back. Let me get that real quick. Habakkuk chapter 3. Habakkuk chapter 3 and verse 2. O Lord, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. Huh? I heard that speech and I was afraid. O Lord Yahweh, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. Make all the prophecies pop off. In wrath, remember mercy. So in his wrath, I want him to remember mercy towards me. And that's what all the other men who sigh and cry, women and children, are asking for and praying upon. Call Allah Yahweh Yahushua, man. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 10. Matthew chapter 10. And it's all through the Spirit. This all through the Spirit. Call Allah Yahweh Yahushua. Matthew chapter 10 and verse 30. I'm going to read it again. Matthew 10 and 38. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. Verse 40, he that receiveth you receiveth me. What is that going into? Jeremiah 1 and 5. He are sanctified and ordained the prophets. Huh? So he that heareth the prophets hears who? Yahushua. Now watch this. He that receiveth you will be talking about the servants. Those who are sighing and crying out here on the highways and hedges doing this work. Bringing out this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He that receiveth you receiveth me, Adonai Yahushua. And he that receiveth me, receive him that sent me. Who sent thee? The Heavenly Father, Yahweh. Verse 41. Going back into what? We read 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 13 about what? Being sanctified, right? And I tied it in with Jeremiah 1 and 5, where it was talking about the prophets being sanctified. But let's see how that all ties in. Matthew 10 and 41. He that receive a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. Ooh wee. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. These scriptures is pinpoint accurate, man. Well, matter of fact, let's get something. I'm gonna finish it out and we're gonna get something. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of the prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. And he that receive a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. This is all red letter writing out of Yahushua, verse 42. And whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water, only in the name of a disciple, verily, meaning truly, I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward, man. This shit is powerful, man. And it's pinpoint accurate. Because what? Jeremiah chapter 29. Jeremiah chapter 29. Salakia 23. I got them mixed up. Chapter 23 and verse 29. Is not my word like as a fire? The words we put in these men's mouth. Let's read it again. Jeremiah 23 and 29. Is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock into pieces? So this word putting in that work. It's breaking down this system. It's breaking down Esau, Edom's kingdom that we read about in Jeremiah 1 and 2. Let me get that back again with this word. Let me read this one more time. Jeremiah 23 and 29. Is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? Now watch this. Let's go to Jeremiah 1 and 10. Because it said it's like a fire that breaking rocks into pieces. Watch this. See, I have this day, Jeremiah 1 and 10. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to build, to pull down and to destroy. So that fight, this word that's like a fire and like a hammer that's breaking a rock into pieces is doing what? To root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down and to build and to plant. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because everything is what? Proverbs. Going into this word. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 5. Salaki, we're going to let it calm down. We're going to let it cool down a little bit. Proverbs, we talking about this word. Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 5 say what? Every word of the Most High is pure. It's pure, man. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. And that still go back into what? That still go back into Psalms 119, man, when we read at the beginning, man. The word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path, man. Boy, let's continue, man. Verse 6, add thou not unto his word, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. Who is adding to his word? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. He added to the word, and he is the liar. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Let's continue. Our people hate this. Our people hate this. Watch this. Let's go to Timothy. I want to deal with something. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to Psalms chapter 119 and 140 first. Then, Lord willing, I'll get that in Timothy. Psalms 119 and 140, because we're still dealing with that word. Psalms 119 and 140, because we're still dealing with that word. Psalms 119 and 140. Thy word is very pure, therefore thy servant loveth it. Yeah. So whoever loves these words, guess what? I mean, it's pure. It's pure to those who love it, man. You know it's pure. Those who love it know it's pure. Verse 1, dropping down to 144. Matter of fact, I'm going to keep going. Psalms 119 and 141. I am small and despised, yet do not forget thy precepts. Huh? Verse 42. Thy righteousness is everlasting righteousness, and thy law is true. Verse 143. Trouble and anguish have taken hold on me, yet thy commandments are my delights. Who brought the trouble and anguish on you? Esau, even the so-called white man in Babylon and wherever else. Verse 144 is the point. The righteousness of thy testimonies is everlasting. Give me understanding, and I shall live. Live through what? All the hell that's finna break loose out here on these, in Babylon the Great. Jacob's trouble, man. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahweh. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Let's continue, man. Let's continue. What Lord, bring it back to me, man. Where did I say I wanted to go? There it is too. That's the spirit. First Timothy. First Timothy. Because what? Because see, a lot of our people like to try to discredit this truth, the pure words. A lot of our people try to discredit the pure words that was left for your safety, man, for your salvation, man. These testimonies. Watch this. First Timothy. Salakia, 2 Timothy. I apologize. 2 Timothy chapter 3. 2 Timothy chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 12. Because why do we need this word? Why do we need this word? Why is it like fire and breaking down the rock, breaking down like a hammer breaking down the rocks? Because what? 2 Timothy